Hey everybody, it's Cam from Women's Outdoor Connection, and I'm here. I'm so excited. I'm here with Deborah Edwards, and she is going to be joining us on October 26th. She's one of our keynote speakers, and we're thrilled to have her. First off, to learn more about her and to learn more about her fantastic business, which she supports all types of people, but really supports women. And so great. The name of it is Grateful Om, Om.
Om.
Yeah,
Yeah.
grateful Om. And so we're super stoked about it and to learn more and also to learn more about how we can center ourselves personally. And so I'm going to let her take it from here and kind of tell us a little bit about herself, about a little bit about where, what brought her to this point. Just a brief synopsis, and then we're going to jump into some questions, and then we're two friends chatting it up, and I'm really excited to learn more about Deborah. So take it from here.
So, hi, everybody. Like she said, my name is Deborah, and I am the founder of GratefulOm. So, I want to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm an Air Force brat. So, we've lived all around the country, and I started my career in marketing and management and telecommunications and insurance. And I'm working for Fortune 100 and 500 companies in management and staffing positions. I did that from the time that I was 16 until the time that I was 55. At
Wow.
which point, at the time that I turned 55, I was working for one of the big three automator makers. And at the time that I turned 55, all of a sudden, when in my career, I was raising up every 2 years, getting promoted, doing things, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden now I couldn't do anything right. And our
Um,
company decided that they wanted to focus all of their energy on young college graduates.
mm,
And I was at the time managing four departments, and and my mom died, and my dad died, and I was just overwhelmed. I was stressed out. It was showing up in my body. I was smoking like ridiculous amounts. I was drinking
mm,
ridiculous amounts. And I was just retreating from my life.
yeah.
And one of my friends that I worked with in Macon, Georgia, said, there's these meditations that Oprah and Deepak Chopra do that you may want to try to do those. And I started doing those, the free 21-day ones.
Sure.
And I
Yeah.
did that for a while. And every time they came out, I signed up right away, right, for
Mhm.
the free 21 and even bought a couple. And then after my father died, which is 11 months after my mom died,
Oh, you,
I really went deep, right? It was like I'm
yeah.
an orphan, nobody loves me, life sucks. And then my friend, the same friend that recommended the meditation, said, "Oh, Oprah's Live Your Best Life tour is going to be in Atlanta. We should go." And I'm like, okay, yeah, but oh my God, that was life changing for me.
Yeah.
And what happened, and this was one of the things that just turned my life around. There were amazing speakers. It was an amazing event, cool things to do. And Deepak Chopra got on the stage and he said something that was like, "You," and it felt like he was pointing at me.
Directly at you. Yeah, I love it.
He
Yeah.
said, "You are the captain of your own ship.
Yeah.
You get to choose what happens with your life." And that was like, Oprah talks about these aha moments, right?
Sure.
That just hit me. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Because until then, although I was doing very well in my career until then, I was doing very well. I traveled, I had fun, but these were not choices that I made. I got my degrees because that's what my mom wanted me to do. I
Oh,
went into this area. I was a wonderful singer. I had bands. We were traveling around the region, and I went into business because that's what my mom wanted me to do, not necessarily
sure.
what
Yeah.
I wanted to do. And when Deepak Chopra said that, it was like he was giving me permission.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
And
I
so that kind of changed,
sure.
my insight. And and so I got back, really filled up and everything. If I'm talking too much, let me know.
No, you're
But
doing
like,
great. You
really
just
like
keep going.
super filled up and everything. And then this guy, my boss, who has not been supportive of me,
Mm.
says, you know what, we're gonna put you in this other department, which would have been essentially a demotion. And
Oh,
I said, you know what? In that moment, and going back to what Deepak Chopra said,
yeah,
wait a minute. I know who I am. I know, and this is one of the things that I really hope women can do, and what I help women do is to connect to your inner wisdom and your inner
yeah,
knowing
yeah.
about who you are and your worth. Because as you let somebody else define who you are, they're not going to get it right.
Yeah.
You get to decide who you are. You get to decide your worth. And in that
Oh,
moment, I did. I
that gives
said,
me goosebumps. That's
I
like,
know
it's
it's
so
it's
true because like, and unfortunately, I think as women, for some reason, and this is, your story really resonates with me quite a bit. I've, I just recently lost my mother. It'll be 2 years in December. And my father passed at a fairly young age. And so I understand that level of grief. And, when my father passed, I was in the pinnacle of my career, and I
mhm,
was just trying to do everything for everybody except for myself. I really, it was, I was trying to do all the right things, all those things, okay, you know, go to college, get married, buy a house, have children. It was just like, and I was kept chasing that happiness. And not that I was unhappy exactly, but it's just like I've never been happier until I took charge of what I was
mhm,
doing, until I listened to the voice in my head that's probably 7 years old and but is smarter than I am. you know, that's,
right.
telling me like these are the things that you should be doing. And then once I did that, it made such a difference. So I love what you're saying because I think a lot of us can learn from that for sure. So,
Yeah, and once you are able to recognize that, right? Once you are
yeah,
able to say, hear that voice within yourself saying, this is what I need, this is what I want to do, then it was so much easier to manifest it,
sure.
right?
It sort of fell in place. That's the
Yeah.
thing that's really amazing. And like it continues to fall in place for me. And I'll be 58 in like 6 days. Um,
Happy
so
birthday.
yeah, thank you. And even this morning, my mom sent me a message of something that she used to say to me all the time because I'm a little anxious about a couple things, and she used to say, "Stop trying to live your entire life in one day."
Yes.
And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, thanks, mom. But like, she's not here, but she's here. Like her wisdom
Yes.
is still with me, and I think that's really important too to gather wisdom from the people that you meet. One of the things I read in your website, and I loved this saying. It really meant something to me when I read it. Like you said, talk about Oprah's aha moments. The love it life. Is that what you say? Love it
I
life.
say love and light. Yeah.
Love and yeah, that I love that. That's really good. So where did that come from for you? Like,
I was in a and I hear a lot of people saying it now. I was in a meditation where we were asking ourselves the soul questions. Who am I?
yeah,
What do I want? And so those are two of the questions in the meditation that I do quite frequently. And when I was in this meditation, it just felt like I am love. So that's what I want to be. In every
mm,
moment, I want to be love. And in every moment, I want to be a light that really illuminates that love, right?
yeah,
Because and it is so easy to be something else. But if you're being love, you can't be anything else.
yeah,
If you're being love, you're automatically light. And
yeah,
so that's where that came from. So in any interaction that I have with anybody or anything, I
yeah,
want to show up as love. Even if it's somebody that doesn't agree with me, even
hmm,
if it's someone that that has done me harm, I still want to show up with love. And
Yeah.
maybe the loving thing is that I remove myself from that first person,
Oh, that's so good.
but I still want to lead with love. And first of all, and most of all, and you've learned this, loving myself,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
So that
It's
ability,
good that you mentioned like even when someone maybe they're not agreeing with you, or maybe they're not treating you with that same level of respect, to remove yourself from it. I think
right?
we struggle with that. We struggle with, if you were to say, I'm sorry, I can't do that, or I'm sorry, I'm unavailable for you. I think we struggle, particularly as women, because we're basically like sort of semi-taught that we need to caretake everybody, all over the
Yes,
planet. And and really
except us.
the most important one to caretake is yourself. And it's so by leading with love, like you're saying, removing yourself from the situation, is loving yourself, like that's really cool. I love that saying. That's really cool. So, our focus for the Women's Outdoor Connection obviously is in the title of our group, is about the outdoors. So for you, like, I know, like looking even at your website, you seem to take nature and utilize it a lot. Can you tell me a little bit about what that means to you?
For me, nature is an integral part. I mean, there are, six pillars of health. And nature isn't one of them, but I feel like nature really supports my physical and mental health.
Yeah,
um, the energy that is around it. Whenever I'm out in nature, first of all, I love the energy. I love the energy of the woods. I love water, everything getting out. And anytime that I am in nature, I am completely present in the moment without thinking about anything else but what's right in front of me.
yeah,
And when we're at home, even after we've meditated or even after we've had, there's all of these things that keep coming in and really competing for our time. But when you're out in nature, it is just you and the wind, and everything
yeah,
is just perfect.
yeah,
Everything is as it should be. Even when you're out hiking and you see a tree that's falling over, there's
yeah.
nothing wrong. That's just the way that nature works.
Oh,
And
that's
so
a great way
I,
to
I
look at it.
love it so much. It's just that
Yeah,
thing is as it should be. There's nothing that you have to do but be part of it. And you are a part of it. I think
100%. Yeah,
sometimes as humans, we tend to separate ourselves from nature as if it isn't us. Nature is us.
yeah. Well, it's where we've come from. Yeah, it's part of
Yeah.
us. Yeah, for 100%. I noticed in your logo, and it's right behind your head there too. Like, talk to me about that. About how did you come up with that? What the tree and the symbolism of it?
The reason I came up with that, and if you see in my actual logo, it's a woman, the trunk, and it comes up and all of the
Oh,
tree and
really?
the leaves. And really that logo to me represents all of life, right? The roots that ground us to the
Yeah.
earth, and the trunk that is just the solidity of who we are and standing in our truth and standing in our hearts.
Huh.
And then the branches and the leaves and all of that reaching up to the universe, and all that each of us touches, the many leaves, the many ripples that we make when the wind blows, part of us moves
Yeah.
and brings our love and energy to the earth. So when I say the name of my company is Grateful Om, it's just gratitude for that beautiful energy of love and light in the universe that
Yeah.
we all carry with us, that we all have a direct connection with, but we sometimes forget it.
Yeah.
The whole world wants us to forget it because we're easier to manage if we forget our power, if we forget our
Yeah.
groundedness, if we forget the place that we have in the world that allows love and light to exist.
Oh, 100%. The more the chaos is pushed on you, the more insecure you become, more, it's just, and unfortunately, because of the type of society we live in now, we walk around with these in our hands, or, and we barely shut them off. So one of the things I love when I'm in the mountains is, you know, I can send a message in the morning and just say, hey, I'm going to be out of service. Because it's true, it's like I won't have a connection to anything other than, like you said, love and light and the earth and what's been created for me to see and be part of. And I think that's really cool. Trees are amazing. I Right now in the Pacific Northwest, we've got beautiful fall, colors happening. We don't do fall like back east as much, but we definitely have a seasonal change come, and that whole process of the leaves losing their the trees losing their leaves, and like a new start, a new beginning. I just think that's really important for us all to look at and remember and be quiet enough, like take the time to like notice those things. And I think we don't do that, so how, when like if someone was to if you were to take on someone as a client, I'm not sure what you would call it, a patient, a student, tell me a little bit about how would that go about? Like, tell us a little bit about that process.
Well, right now, what I'm focusing on is my Women's Awakening Wisdom Program. And what we do is we look at the Wheel of Life, which really it gives an indication in the 6 pillars of health, the areas where you are thriving and where you're not so thriving. And then
Yeah.
what we do is we take a look at that. I was trained at the Chopra Center in Ayurveda.
Okay.
And so one of the things that I look at is the body constitution, or what your tendencies are as a person, what is your unique makeup, and what are the things that support you in that unique makeup. And
Yeah.
so then we take one area of the wheel of life and say, okay, this is the area that we want to work on. Okay. And so
So
then
it's like an
based
area that you would need to focus on, because that one you're not really, what makes you
thriving.
decide upon that?
Right. It's the wheel of life, that's an area that either you're not thriving on, or it's giving you the most ajna right now.
Okay. Okay.
So you may get a low score in money, for example, but you're not making very much money, but that's not an issue with you. What
Right.
maybe you score higher, maybe in relationships.
Mm,
And so then that would be the one that we choose, because that's the one that you feel would give you the most, I want to say, bang for your buck. And
right.
so what I do that's a little bit different than a lot of people is we look at you specifically. I don't say, okay, yoga's going to be good, this is going to be good, meditate
Sure.
30 minutes a day, do this and this and this.
Yeah.
No, because I hate yoga. I'm going to say it. I've been trained in yoga at the Chopra Center. I know
Yeah.
the benefits of yoga. It is just not pleasant for me.
Yeah.
And
I
and so
get it.
we look at what individual experiences you have and what's going to support you,
Right.
not what someone says is good and you should be doing it.
Yeah. So you focus on the person and then build the program from there, is what I'm
Right,
basically
right.
hearing. That's
And so
great.
right now,
That is great. That I love that too, because everyone, you do see these things and they end up being like sometimes a little cookie cutter, because they think that
mhm,
it's going to fit everyone. It
right.
sounds like a much more personal experience. So that's great. So what is one of your most memorable memories outdoors? And it could be from any time in your life.
Oh, I was just thinking about this. My most memorable memory outdoors, and this is probably, I was in Kauai and I was doing a sunset cruise,
Uh,
and they were playing, somewhere, the Over the Rainbow, the like Kauai one or the
oh yeah,
Hawaiian.
yeah, yeah, with a ukulele.
And do you know that there were dolphins that just came up around our boat and just surrounded us? And it was like I was a dolphin. It was, it
I
was
love
like
that.
on the boat and we're just like the pod of dolphins are just surrounding us. And it was just so, I don't know, it just felt like connected with the dolphins. And then it was
Yeah.
sunset and it was just so beautiful to me. So that was my best.
Yeah.
And that I've had so many, so many, zip lining in Costa Rica,
Ooh.
you know,
Ooh, that
so
sounds
that was
fun.
cool.
Good for you.
And just a lot of different ones. I just like getting out. I like experiencing things outdoors. I love
Yeah.
water, and I just love flopping around. My mom called it flopping around in the ocean because I just love it,
Like a dolphin.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it is so funny. My mom and dad had retired. Well, no, they were snowbirds, really. And then they went to Florida during the winters.
Yeah.
And I would go visit them a lot because I'm in South Carolina and they were in Florida. And
Yeah.
I would say, my dolphins are going to come up and visit me because they had a oceanfront.
Oh, I love that. That's great.
And so I say, my dolphins are going to come. And, every single time I visited, those dolphins came.
Yeah.
So it's like when that was happening, and then this was after mommy and daddy died, and those dolphins came up along that side of that
Oh,
boat on that
yeah.
river.
Like they're saying hello. Oh gosh.
It was like, oh,
Yeah. See, I have a really strong connection to animals myself, and so that means that speak what you're saying speaks to me. And I'm sure it will speak to a lot of people, but I've had a lot of moments outdoors where I'm getting messages from my dad, and from my mom now too. Uh, but yeah, if you're quiet, I always say if you're quiet enough, you can see, like you can see it happening. If you like just make yourself quiet enough, people always say if you're quiet enough, you can hear. I always kind of say the opposite. I think that it's really important to just sort of take a deep breath. But honestly, I just that brings me to with you ziplining and such. Um, there's a lot of anxiety for a lot of us when we get away from our phones and we get away from all those buttons that we're needing to push and those all those things that people want us to do. How do you help women overcome some of those fears of letting go, and just taking that step because it takes a lot of courage.
well, I mean, it does take a lot of courage, and what we really need to invite ourselves to do is to take baby steps.
Yeah.
Because sometimes things can seem so big, and that does and even a little baby step can just really empower us to take the next step
Yeah.
and the next best step. And then I think when we decide that we're going to, okay, today I'm going to move that mountain, and then you're looking at it and you're like, there's no way.
Yeah.
And today I am going to take that one step towards the mountain,
Yeah.
and so that looking at it in baby steps and really feeling into your reasoning, or even if it's something you want to do,
Yeah.
right? Because there's sometimes your body and your mind are informing you of something that you
Sure.
you just don't want to do right now. So be gentle with yourself and taking baby steps, first of all, and then really knowing and feeling in your body and understanding what your intention is and why you want to do this.
Yeah. I love that. That's really good advice. That's incredible advice. Really, we try to take it on all at once. Again, that's another. I feel like my mom just like showed not that you're like my mom, but like that my mom showed up to say, don't live your life all in one day, like it's like
Exactly. Yeah.
exactly the same thing because I'm always trying to like over plan it and figure it out. And oh my gosh, it becomes overwhelming. I was talking with somebody the other day and I was talking about to-do lists and how I love, everybody does a to-do list on their computer now or on their phone. I handwrite all mine. Like,
Yeah.
because I love checking them off. Like, it's just, I just love that. So, tell me just, we're going to be taking a break here in a couple minutes, but like, tell me just briefly, what exactly do you want the women from the Women's Outdoor Connection to really gain from your visit? Like, what's your goals for the conference, and what are you excited about, I guess, is another thing. So,
I think what I'm always excited about is having, yeah, I want every woman to have that same understanding that I do. When
yeah.
I went to Deepak Chopra and he said, "You are the captain of your ship. You get to choose. You are the one that has the power over your life." That's what I want every woman to know. Because when you have that awareness,
Yeah.
all things are possible. And I know it sounds like really cliche when you're saying all things are possible, but truly, all things are possible.
Yeah.
And the things that you don't want are actually very clear. You get those out of the way to create space for the things that you do want.
Ooh,
So I
yeah.
think that's what, because it is so affirming, it is so it contributes so much to my gratitude, to, really the things that I have to be grateful for in my life, just knowing that I get to choose and I have the ability to manifest whatever I want.
Oh, that's great. I love that. Well, Dora, we're gonna take a little break, but we're gonna come back. But if you're just gonna if you're just joining us, or if you're just on here, we're gonna be at the Collective October 26th. Deborah's gonna be visiting us. We're super excited to have her in Seattle, and we hope that you can join us. And just thank you again, and we'll see you back here in a few minutes.